Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Firstly, headlines. The College of Command and Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces holds a ceremony for graduation of the 27th batch of students. Mining sector and environmental challenges are at the focus of the third Ramadan evening at the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And 510 Palestinians and 20 Israelis are killed in 2 weeks of Israel-Gaza fighting as UN Security Council calls for an immediate ceasefire. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The College of Command and Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces held a ceremony to mark the graduation of the 27th batch of students under the auspices of His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed al-Nu'mani, Minister of Royal Office. The minister congratulated the graduates for their achievements, urging them to continue their way toward wider horizons of knowledge and education. He also greeted the students of brotherly and friendly countries. The college qualifies officers to get Bachelor of Arts degree in military sciences to assume leadership positions in the future after 1 year of study. Air Commodore Nasser bin Hamdoun al-Harafi, commander of Command and Staff College, said in his speech that the college in its scientific march depends on qualified administrative faculty as well as strong cooperation with all bodies concerned inside and outside the Sultanate. The college seeks to apply comprehensive quality standards in its outputs to enhance its education and training level. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, handed bachelor degree certificates in military sciences to graduating officers of the 27th batch from the Command and Staff College. A work team from Sultan Qaboos University was honored for participating in providing scientific and academic support and consultation to the college. The third Ramadan evening was held at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It discussed a number of topics, namely the significance of mining field, the role of the Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs in facilitating issuance of environment approvals and permits, as well as challenges that face crusher and quarry projects. It also reviewed delay in granting permits to small and medium enterprises and absence of coordination among government bodies in granting environmental permits, in addition to efforts exerted in spreading the culture of environmental permits in the society. The laws in the Sultanate oblige the project and establishment owners to acquire environmental approvals before implementing their projects in order to achieve sustainable industry development through the application of modern technologies. Public Authority for Social Insurance started applying the amendments of social insurance law, which includes amendment of the calculated amount of money of the insurance from the basic salary, raising the average of the calculated pension, and also raising the minimum of the insurance pension from 150 Omani riyals to 202 riyals. These amendments will contribute in the stability of the national manpower. The amendments came with good features needed by the private sector to be an incentive for the Omani cadres. The specialists thought that these amendments will raise the efficiency of more than 188,000 employees in the private sector. It also will encourage the Omani youth to work in this vital and active sector. Still to come in our news bulletin. Saving Food Project is a youth voluntary initiative in the governorate of Al-Buraimi. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The United Nations Human Rights Council said it would hold an emergency session on Israel's 2-week-old offensive in Gaza on Wednesday at the request of Egypt, Pakistan, and the Palestinians. In another development, the Palestinian Center for Human Rights said that at least 10 people from the same family were killed near the southern Gaza town of Rafah early today when an Israeli airstrike hit their house. 4 Palestinians were killed and 50 others wounded when Israeli shells fell on Al-Aqsa Hospital in the central Gaza Strip town of Deir al-Bala. At least 510 Palestinians and 20 Israelis have been killed in 2 weeks of Israel-Hamas fighting. Tens of thousands of Gaza residents have been driven from their homes. UN Security Council has called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, following a last night closed-door meeting. Ambassador Eugene Richard Gassana of Rwanda, which holds the Security Council's rotating presidency for July, told reporters that the Council had a sober meeting given the seriousness of the situation. Gassana said this to say,
"The members of the Security Council expressed serious concern at the escalation of violence in the situation related to Gaza. The members of Security Council called for respect of international humanitarian law, including protection of civilians. The members of Security Council emphasized the need to improve the humanitarian situation, including through humanitarian pauses. The members of the Security Council expressed serious concern about the growing number of casualties. The members of the Security Council called for an immediate cessation of hostilities based on a return to the November 2012 ceasefire agreement. The members of the Security Council welcomed the efforts of Egypt to broker a ceasefire, as well as those of the Secretary General.
Fighting flared in the eastern Ukrainian city of Donetsk today as investigators began to inspect the bodies of victims of the downing of Malaysia airline flight MH17 last week. Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet his advisory Security Council tomorrow to discuss defense issues following renewed fighting in East Ukraine and the downing of a Malaysian airliner in the region. Putin said the downing of the airliner must not be used for political ends and urged separatists to allow international experts access to the crash site. British Prime Minister David Cameron warned Putin that the European Union was ready to impose tougher sanctions on Russia after separatists downed a Malaysia Airlines plane with a loss of 298 lives. Muscat Securities Market MSM General Index today lost 6.46 points, comprising a decline by 0.09% to close at 7,182 points. The trading value stood at 6.59 million Omani Riyals, comprising a decline by 13.99% compared to the last session, which stood at 7.66 million Omani Riyals. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value fell by 0.07% to reach about 15.16 billion Omani Riyals. Saving Food Project is a youth voluntary initiative that aims to find a healthy mechanism to deal with spare food and distribute it to workmen and people in need in different places in the governorate of Al Buraimi. The voluntary youth team made posters under the theme "Think Before You Throw Food" and distributed them in public areas. A special car has been prepared for this purpose. Here are the Ramadan times for tomorrow. Fajr prayers will be at 4:08 a.m. and Maghrib prayers at 6:59 p.m. Now for the general weather forecast. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the governorate of Dhofar and nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of scattered rain, occasionally thunderous, accompanied by gust-raising winds over the Hajar Mountains and nearby areas. Winds will be southerly to southwesterly moderate to active along the coast of the Arabian Sea, while it will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate in the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coastal areas of Arabian Sea will be rough with a maximum wave height of 5 meters, and along the rest of the coast it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The College of Command and Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces holds a ceremony for graduation of the 27th batch of students. Mining sector and environmental challenges are the focus of the third Ramadan evening at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And 510 Palestinians and 20 Israelis are killed in 2 weeks of Israel-Gaza fighting as UN Security Council calls for an immediate ceasefire. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.